Alright, so to recap where we kind of left off last video, let's check in on palworld, the Pokemon clone, Arc, Pokemon blended game that has been kind of like blowing up all over the internet. Now, I'm going to say again, I've played it again since the last time I talked about it. It's actually really fun. The game has a lot of good things going for it. In general, I think the weakest element to it is like the actual crafting, survival, exploration side of it, like the Valheim Arc side of it, I think is a little weak. It's very super simplified and basic and rudimentary. But on the flip side, it enables you to kind of play through the game faster. So I think that element to it actually kind of makes sense. It definitely, the target audience, it's probably geared for like a younger crowd of people anyways, or people who don't have the time to invest in like a massive time waster like Arc or Valheim. So that being said, the game has sold now like 7 million copies, and this article here from Fandom Pulse kind of breaks down the good and the bad of the game. Not too much of the controversy, the AI claims, the fact that Nintendo is now talking about how they're investigating and they might consider suing them. But in response to some of the criticism, palworld has come out and said, "We'd like to share with you our roadmap for palworld. Sales have far exceeded the development team's expectations, and we are currently experiencing many problems due to excessive access congestion, among other challenges. We will prioritize improving this issue first, and then move on to implementing new in-game features. Thank you for your understanding." And then they put their roadmap here, addressing critical issues, things that they want to implement, improvements as soon as possible. And then their planned future updates for things like PvP and raid bosses and cross-play between Steam and Xbox. I mean, this is a huge W, so you don't have to like the company, you don't even have to enjoy the game, but you have to respect the fact that they are honest to God treating this with as much responsibility and respect as possible, given the fact that they have now sold millions of copies of this game and have generally positive reviews about it. So let's contrast that now with the way that the Day Before is handling criticism of their flopped game. If you recall, Day Before was probably the biggest disappointment, biggest flop in the most recent history, certainly of 2023, given the fact that it was the most wishlisted game on Steam. It lasted 4 days before they shut the server down, and the studio behind it closed, a week after that. It was insane. And a lot of people claimed the game was a scam. They claimed it was not finished, that it was deceptive, that it was an investor scam where they had to refund the money, but they kept all the money from the investors and screw the investors. Again, I haven't seen proof to this, but the reality is the Day Before developers have now come back and issued a statement basically saying gamers and YouTubers coordinated like a hate campaign to make the game fail. I'm not even kidding. Some ordinary gamer, he's actually Mudahar, he's one of the ones that talked about this today, that they directly address in this letter that we're going to go through, that there was a hate campaign, an orchestrated hate campaign that caused the game to fail. I am not kidding. And so, we'll skip this article. Let's just go to the letter. The letter that they posted on Twitter, we'll just kind of go through a couple pieces of it, and then we'll just end this video off, because it's not really worth talking about. I just think it's funny to address the way that they are handling the criticism of the way that they, put the product out there. They didn't put their best foot forward. They gave an unfinished product. It was deceptive in the fact that they didn't match the release trailer. It didn't go along with what they had shown so far of it, and it's biting them in the ass. So here's the letter that they released today. It says, "Recently, a lot of misinformation has emerged on the internet from supposedly anonymous sources. Fntastic provides an official response to these statements. It says, anonymous people allege that we deceived players. We worked hard and honestly on the game for 5 years. We didn't take a penny from users, didn't use crowdfunding, and didn't offer pre-orders. Even after the game was closed, we, together with the publisher, returned money to all players, including forcibly issued refunds to those who did not request them." Now again, Steam automatically refunds their customers in the situation like this. So I don't understand why they think that they're like, they're acting like they're all noble and stuff for issuing refunds. Steam was going to issue people refunds regardless of the fact. Also, they're not completely honest about this. They were taking or requesting volunteer help for the first several years of development of this game. They were literally begging people to come help volunteer their time to make this game actually happen. So you could say they didn't take a penny from users or crowdfunding, but they did get free help just to make this game happen. Another key point that I want to talk about was where they say here, why do they say that the release game is not the same as that in the trailers, and why was the game closed? Says, we implemented everything shown in the trailers, from home improvements and detailed world to off-road vehicles. We only disabled a few minor features like parkour due to bugs, but plan to include them in the full release. Remember the experiment where you're asked to count pink objects in a room and then recall the blue ones? You won't remember any. It's all about focus. The negative bias instilled by certain bloggers making money on hate affected perceptions of the game. Look at unbiased gameplay like Dr. Disrespect's stream at release. Despite the initial bugs and server issues, he liked the game, which we fixed later, and the game received improved reviews over the weekend. So, basically, the long and short of it is, the YouTubers like Mudahar over at Somewhere Near Gamers and anybody else who covered it, well, they're just leading a hate campaign to make this game fail. But look, Dr. Disrespect liked the game, which I've seen the clips that they're talking about. He was not having a great time with it. He was having a lot of problems with the game. It's one thing to say the game has some issues, but I like the general theme of the game, or the bones are good if they can fix these other problems. It's another thing to make this sound like it's some sort of ringing endorsement that they did everything perfect. And this tweet here, okay, got community noted. I'm part of community notes, and I saw it get noted in real time. In fact, this is my note that was rated helpful 10 hours ago. You can see here it says post unavailable. They then reposted 4 hours ago the exact same letter that they had posted before, just to try to avoid the community notes. I am not kidding you. This is how dishonest and corrupt this company is, and how horrible these people are. They're literally trying to change the narrative after the fact and claim that they didn't deceive anybody, that they didn't do anything wrong, that they did everything right, and it was only a hate campaign that caused the game to fail, when they themselves are trying to evade the community note feature on Twitter, which is supposed to be there to fact-check people who lie. I just think that's a really ironic way to end this off. But let me know what you guys think down below. If any of you actually played the game, let me know what you thought of it, and I will see you guys later. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching the video. We do have 2 channels, one for daily uploads, the other one for more of my live streams and hot takes. Links to both are down below, as well as the ability to join as a channel member for as little as $3 a month, and that'll greatly help us out. Much appreciated. We also have links to our Etsy accounts down below, as well as our website. We also have locals and Subscribestar. If you didn't want to support us on YouTube, you can support us through those. Thanks again for being here, and we will see you on the next one.